Hi, Captain Keith Robbins here from Spot Tail Salmon Guide. I'm going to talk to you today about mooching in Puget Sound. First of all, I'm going to go over the gear. Today I'm using a Shimano 300 line counter reel. It's got 15-pound monofilament on it, tied to a Sampo ball bearing swivel, which has a McMahon snap on it. That's snapped onto a 3-ounce kidney style lead. Tied onto the lead on the bottom swivel is a 6.5 or 7 foot leader with tandem hooks tied onto it. Those are octopus hooks from Gamakatsu. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to cut a herring. We call it a cut plug herring. And the easiest way to do that is to take your knife and put it right behind the gill plate. Turn the knife about 45 degrees and then bevel it about 45 degrees and just one quick cut. Then flip it over. Use your finger to push the entrails out and then just slide it out. So the next step is to hook up your cut plug so it'll spin just beautifully. So the very basic hookup is you take your top hook, the one closest to the top of your rod, stick it in through the stomach cavity 1/4 to 1/2 inch and have it come straight out through the backbone like that. And you can fish that bait just like that, which is called the westboard hookup. It's very simple. The way I like to do it is to put the second hook through the short side, because you beveled that hook through the short side, pull it through, and so it's hanging back by the tail. Now that your bait's all hooked up and ready to go, you want to check the spin on it and make sure it's spinning nice and tight. So the best way to do that is to get the lead in the water and just drag it through under, so you check your spin. Ooh, that's a good spin, nice and tight. So now that you've hooked up your bait, it's time to work it. And when I say work it, I mean work the whole water column. You're gonna drop and reel and drop and reel and drop and reel. And when I fish, I never let the bait sit still, not even for a second. It's a lot of activity and a lot of fun. Most of the time when the fish hits, it hits while it's falling and it'll just dead stop. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your thumb to regulate the speed of the reel. You're gonna flip that lever and that's gonna put the reel into free spool. You'll use the thumb to regulate the speed. If you've got no wind and no current, you can strip one strip at a time like that. Otherwise, your lead and your herring are going to get all twisted up. So once you've gotten to whatever depth you determine you want to be fishing at, then you're going to just engage the reel like that and start winding it back up. Just nice and slowly, just keep that bait moving. If you happen to be dropping and the fish hits it on the drop, which again is going to happen about 2/3 of the time, and it's just going to dead stop, then you're going to crank it as fast as you can until you reel up into the fish. And when you've reeled up into the fish, then you can give it a little set. Don't set until you can't reel anymore. It's pretty easy fishing, very little gear, and it's really, really fun. As soon as you feel that first slack, the hit on the drop, you're going to be hooked as a moocher. It is exciting and really, really, really fun.